A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bolgatanga, Might FM in Tamale, ATL FM in Cape Coast, and Laura FM in Laura. For our global audience, also, you can download my Joy9 app from Play Store and App Store to listen live. In this edition, armed robbers on rampage in parts of Accra with at least 4 robberies in 1 week, raising concerns about the brazen nature of these attacks.
2 motorbikes with a gun. They came robbing around this area. Then they went Kaswa Road. They gave warning shot twice, and then they left.
We are live at Waja, where the latest incident occurred this morning. President Akufo-Addo courts the support of the USA to deal with terrorist groups said to have immigrated from Iraq and currently operating in the sub-region.
Many of those who are leading the jihadist insurrection in West Africa are the people who came from Iraq after they were driven out from Iraq to Ghana. So I think that there's some information here that can assist us.
We have details as security operatives are said to be holding suspected terrorists busted during a raid of an Islamic learning center at Savalugu here in Accra earlier this month. Crocodiles invade Sabun Zongo, a community in the Bono East region, after floods there.
Do my own research, then I'll report to my regional manager. If it's possible that we need a rescue team from the Wildlife Division to come and rescue them, we'll do it.
Wildlife Department is on the alert as it considers deployment of rangers to hunt down the crocs.
I buy my maize at 550 cedis a bag. Previously, we used to buy a bag at 220 cedis.
I used to buy kinky for 1 cedi. Now, they are selling it at 2 cedis, and the size has also reduced.
Soaring food prices weighing heavily on consumers' pockets. What's your experience with food prices? Also coming up later in the bulletin. We take a trip into Ghana's National Mosque, the second largest of its kind in West Africa, tipped to be a major tourist destination. You want to stay for that and more in this edition of the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Many thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, armed robbers are on the rampage in the capital Accra with at least 4 broad daylight robberies in parts of the city this week alone. In one instance, the robbers opened fire, leaving a bystander with gunshot wounds. The robbers in the separate incidents made away with huge sums of money in the heist. The brazen nature and style of operation has become a cause for concern for eyewitnesses. Joy News editor Fred Smith joins me in studio with more on these incidents. Fred, walk us through the robberies, at least those that have been brought to our attention.
Yeah, Mefa, on Monday, September 20th at Achimota, along the Achimota-Accra-Amasaman Highway, there was 4 armed robbers who executed the well-planned and coordinated heist where the bandits appear to have tailed a woman from a bank at Abeka where she went to withdraw a large amount of money. 3 motorbikes surrounded the woman's vehicle whilst waiting for the traffic light to turn green. One went straight to force open the driver's door and pointed a gun at the woman. She handed over the bags with 3 bags containing money to the robbers without hesitation. The robbers quickly jumped behind the waiting motorbikes and sped off, and they left the woman traumatized. Another broad daylight robbery occurred at Kwashiman on Wednesday. That was close to a bank in the area. A man who is yet to be identified was shot in the leg not long after he came out of the bank and made away with his money. However, it is not immediately known if he was being trailed by the robbers who appeared also on a motorbike.
Now, Fred, there's a third incident, we're told, at Apenkwa.
Yes, Samefa, according to a police statement, a 33-year-old woman was robbed at gunpoint of an amount of 29,000 Ghana cedis. The victim escaped unhurt. A bystander, however, sustained some injuries after the robbers fired gunshots. The police in Accra are seriously pursuing 3 persons according to that statement issued, and the police appear to be confident they will get these robbers.
And there was one just this morning.
Yes, it happened at Sampa Valley near the Waja barrier. Similar modus operandi. The victim had just withdrawn an amount of money in a bag when the gun-wielding men on motorbike fired warning shots at the crime scene and took away that money.
Well, my colleague Maxwell Agbagba is at the Sampa Valley area near the Waja barrier where this particular incident occurred this morning. Maxwell, what have you gathered?
Well, I'm about 4 men on 2 motorbikes. We are told accosted a woman in a white vehicle two of the suspected robbers opened the back door of that vehicle and bolted with a backpack containing some unspecified amount of cash. Now, we are told the robbers fired many times in the air to ward off the residents. A man who I spoke to said he was standing outside but crept into the room for fear of being hit by the bullets. Now, another bystander said he really did not know what was happening until one of the robbers told him to move away. Now, when he was not moving, the robber fired a warning shot. Now, we are told that the victim, who is a woman, has gone to a bank some meters away to withdraw money. According to eyewitnesses, she saw the robbers lurking around, but she did not suspect them to be criminals. They followed her to a point here at Tampa Valley, then accosted her and took her backpack away. As I speak to you, the woman, together with a male who was in that vehicle, we are interacting with the police right now. We have Wager Police Divisional Command also on the ground, taking the evidence to help them arrest the perpetrator. But I have someone here who witnessed what happened. He saw it. Sir, can you tell us exactly what happened?
It happened around 9:20 in the morning. What happened is I was in my shop and I heard a gunshot. So when I came out, I saw 4 guys on motorbike and they have stopped a woman with a car, white vehicle car. They opened her door and just took off some bags from the car and just drove off. But they gave them 4 or 5 gunshots. They shoot in the air to the ground just to scare us. So when they were coming after the incident, they were saying, "Give way, give way, give way, give way." They just drove off. So that's exactly what happened.
So for you, the residents, nobody was able to get close, right?
No. Everybody was running to his or her room. Yeah, so we were feared. I mean, there's fear around because of the gunshot and stuff. And the gun they were using I think it was very, very powerful. The one the police used is what they were having. Yeah.
Okay, so MFA, so that is the situation here currently. We are told by other witnesses I've been speaking to that whilst they were boating, they got to an intersection and they realized that there was a police checkpoint just about 150 meters away from where they were. So they did a quick detour and then used another part of the road and then boated, and that was the end of it. But now we have the police here getting the needed evidence, MFA.
But they have not spoken to you, I mean the police, on this particular incident, have they?
I approached them. They are not willing to speak now. They tell me that they want to gather the necessary information from eyewitnesses, also vet some of the CCTV cameras around and others before they can make an emphatic statement about what exactly happened.
That's my colleague Maxwell Agbagba reporting from Sampa Valley near the Wager Barrier area where we recorded the latest robbery incident this morning. Well, the Police Public Affairs Directorate is not immediately available to speak to the recent spate of robberies recorded in part of the capital. And this week alone, we've been recounting 4 incidents already. Now, President Akufo-Addo is courting support of the United States to deal with jihadist groups from Iraq and other war-torn countries operating in the West African sub-region. There have been calls for tighter security along Ghana's borders following deadly terror attacks in neighboring countries. Security operatives here in Ghana arrested 33 suspected terrorists earlier this month in the Savalugu municipality of the northern region. President Akufo-Addo on Thursday held a discussion with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, who said the U.S. will continue to cooperate with Ghana to address various challenges, including the impact of COVID-19.
We recognize our shared responsibility to collaborate, to share resources, to not only continue to address the effects of COVID-19, but to prepare for the next pandemics. And in that way, the United States is proud to be a member of COVAX and the African Union, and has donated more than 1.2 million doses of the Moderna vaccine to Ghana. And I'm proud to announce that we will shortly send more than 1.3 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine. Finally, we are working together to expand our economic relationship. You and I have talked about that briefly before we came in.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, we can now hear from President Akufo-Addo talk about the activities of terrorist groups in the sub-region.
The main preoccupation for us is the cooperation that we have to put together to defeat the jihadist insurgency in the Sahel. It's a major security preoccupation, and we're not seeking military assistance in the form of American troops or otherwise. I know you've just had a bad example for yourself of what American troops. Many of those who are leading the jihadist insurrection in West Africa are the people who came from Iraq after they were driven out from Iraq to Ghana. So I think that there's some information here that can assist us in being able to track down and deal with these people. So these are the main preoccupations that have brought me here to Washington.
Well, that's President Akufo-Addo. We can now take you to the northern region, Savulugu to be precise, for an update on the raid of an Islamic learning center. We are told that suspected terrorists were picked up. Ilyasu Tanko is our correspondent in the northeast region, has been following this and joins us on the line. Ilyasu, bring us up to speed on how this raid went.
Well, it was a national security operation. I went to the community myself, but we did not know how they came, but the community members told us that they raided the Islamic Learning Center and arrested all the male occupants, leaving only women and children, and they were quickly lifted to Accra.
And in all, how many suspects were we told were picked up in that raid?
Well, we're told they picked up our 33 suspects. The next day, they released about 27 of them, and subsequently 2 others were also released. So as I speak to you now, they have in custody 2 of the suspects still detained. They include the owner or the founder of this learning center and one of a senior cleric. They are currently with the National Security in Accra.
That's my colleague Ilyasu Tanko, correspondent at the northeast region. We move now to the Bono East region, where some residents of Sabon Zongo, a suburb of Techiman, in that region have been struggling to chase out crocodiles from their community after hours of downpour left their homes flooded. The same reptiles have been visiting the community from a nearby river anytime it rains, and all attempts to get help from those in authority has proved futile over the years. Listen to some of the residents who have been speaking to correspondent Anas Sabit.
The rainwater travels from Tamale Station and ends here, so the entire area is being flooded and the people are still whipping out water. We don't have any help aside God. This is what we go through anytime it rains. We don't even know the whereabouts of our children. A community like Takufiano without drains. That means our rooms will be turned into gutters. You've seen it yourself. We've been driving the crocodiles away together. Now we don't know what to do. Only God can save us. So you also have to help us.
Interesting. Anas Sabit has been following this. He joins us on the line. Anas, what's the situation now?
The people have been able to chase out the crocodiles from the area. Or I have to add that for them, this is not a new thing. It's a common phenomenon because they are very close to the river. And so each time it rains, they experience this. What happened last night was quite terrible because they counted more than 5 of these crocodiles. So that is what terrified the people, and they are calling on authorities to come to their aid.
And no one was hurt in the process?
No one was hurt in the process, actually.
That's Anas Sabit, our correspondent. Well, we can hear from a senior wildlife ranger, Samuel Amponsa Mensah. He says a team will be dispatched to the area to deal with the situation.
Home is being maybe they are finding themselves, they are being endangered at where they live. Other people are threatening their life, or there's something that is creating that problem for them not to live in the river because they're supposed to be in the river because they are nocturnal and they are water animals that they must be in the river during the day. They come out maybe to get the sunshine during the day, and that one is always closer to the river. They don't come out to the community. And now that they are leaving the river and visiting the community, it means there's something chasing them out of the water, which we must do a research to find out. Otherwise, not normal for them to leave the water and be roaming in the community. Yeah, without the wildlife, it's very dangerous if you don't know how to handle animals, capture them. But they are very dangerous animals. Crocodiles are very dangerous animals. And we have a techniques we use to capture them. So now that they have found themselves in the community, I'll be going back there to do my own research. Then I'll report to my regional manager. If it's possible that we need a rescue team from the Wildlife Division to come and rescue them, we'll do it.
All right, thank you.
That's Samuel Amponsa Mensah. He's a senior wildlife ranger there speaking on the Joy News desk on the Joy News channel. Now let's talk about your lunch. I have kinky on my mind. I don't know about you, but is your bowl of kinky shrinking in recent times, or do you spend extra for a bowl? Well, that may be because of the soaring price of maize. Now, some kinky sellers in Accra say a bag of maize, which sold at 220 cedis last year, is now selling at 500 cedis. The soaring price of maize has affected the price of kinky, causing consumers to lament. Market researchers Isoko says its survey is showing an increase of more than 100%. Jojo Kobna has been looking into this. Here's his report.
Grace is preoccupied with thoughts of keeping her business afloat. Lately, she does a lot of calculations to balance her books, else her kinky business would collapse. Last year, she took a firm decision to shrink the size of her balls of kinky to be able to make profit and stay in business. She took that decision because the price of maize has been increasing at an alarming rate.
I buy my maize at 550 cedis a bag. Previously, we used to buy a bag at 220 cedis, and then later 270 cedis.
This means money for 2 bags of maize can only buy 1. Grace is therefore being compelled to make another decision, increasing the price of her kinky.
We are suffering because of the high cost of maize. We used to sell a ball of kinky at 1 cedi and 1 cedi 50 pesos. But now we sell a ball at 2 cedis and 3 cedis. Our consumers complain that the kinky is expensive.
The impact is being felt by consumers. Some complained they have been struggling with stagnant wages, yet are being financially squeezed by rising food prices.
It's very bad because the system is very hard and we are all struggling. You can't buy kinky last month 1 cedi. All of a sudden they've increased it to 1.5 to 2 cedis. It's very strange.
That's Jojo Kobina's report. Now, at the Techiman market in the Bono region, maize traders are worried about the low purchases. They attribute this to the recent hikes. And Asabet has been interacting with some of them and filed this report.
Oh, se say me no what word ya ka say dey met match wa buru no price. They say near one edi kan no ya wa buru kokko. And e wo fufuo. Na kokko.
Now we have the yellow corn and the white corn.
4 million.
The old yellow corn is now 415 Ghana cedis per bag. And the white old corn is now 3
million 700,000 all currency.
Nanama has been in this trade for several years. For her, the existing socio-economic conditions in the country is a major contributing factor to the low sales over the past few months. Nowadays, but the problem has to do with buyers. We have no buyers because of the economic hardships in the country. We have the old maize now, however, the prices are still high and not dropping because there's no money. The introduction of new harvests, according to these traders, should have led to a decline in the prices. However, the incessant rains is affecting the drying of the commodity, and farmers would have to rely on maize machines, which comes at a cost, thereby affecting the prices of the commodity.
Problem behind it, that's
the new harvests are growing waste because of the rains. So that is pressurizing the farmers to harvest their maize, and the drying cost is currently a problem.
Well, our great minister, Dr. Owusu Yakoto, says the recent hikes will stabilize soon.
And we are saying that this year, the major season started, rain started a bit slow. the minor city, we've had ideal weather pattern, and therefore we expect that prices and supplies will be back to normal come November, December, January. So it is not unusual. You always find around this time when farmers begin planting, that's when stocks of grains are at their lowest.
Agric Minister Dr. Oswefi Akoto. This is the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top stories: armed robbers on rampage in parts of Accra with at least 4 robberies in 1 week, raising concerns about the brazen nature of the attacks. We brought you the very latest on the latest incidents that happened this morning. We're going to return from the break. We have sports, and then also we'll take you on a trip into Ghana's National Mosque, the second largest of its kind in West Africa, tipped to be a major tourist destination.
This place is a place that we are going to come together. It's pure Islamic and humanitarian, that we can help each other.
The boys are back, oh! The boys are back! Imagine inviting great footballers like Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe into your home. Imagine feeling the big mad temperament of football's fiercest rivals in your living room. Imagine enjoying the home ground advantage of witnessing the best of Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, UEFA Europa, and many more leagues all in English. Or stop imagining. Just get a GoTV decoder now at 89 Ghana cedis and upgrade to GoTV Max to turn your home into the home ground of great football. To purchase a new decoder, SMS GoTV to short code 1731. GoTV. Love it.
Drama from day one. A month away. Vodafone Smart Serve is here. Yes, Smart Serve from Vodafone allows you to connect to super fast wireless internet anywhere and anytime at your own convenience. Whether home or office or on your, we move with seamless connectivity. Tell you there's even more. Vodafone Smart Serve connect up to 32 devices. So now you can connect to the internet on your own terms, increase your productivity, make the most of the things that matter, and do so much more. Visit fbb.vodafone.com.gh or the nearest Vodafone shop today and get a Smart Serve device now. A world of exciting possibilities awaits.
Vodafone. Together we can.
Thanks for choosing the best. Let's do sports. It's a big outdooring today. Gary L. Smith is in the studios. Gary.
So, big question. How many times would one person be outdoored? Because I'm outdooring there. When they outdoor you once in your life, you are finished. But Milovan Rahiva will be outdoored for the second time as Black Stars coach today at 2 p.m. at the GFA Secretariat. And so that's what is trending right now. And he's expected to let us know what, he can do for us. The Black Stars need to qualify for the World Cup. And so that's one of the targets that will be given him. And he's being given a juicy incentive to do that. If he qualifies us to the World Cup, he'll be given 300,000 Kamala Harris dollars.
It is what he would do for us, Pat.
Yeah, so 300,000. And then if he wins the Africa Cup of Nations, he'll be given $300,000 as well. So those are the incentives he's being given. And then an added incentive of a sign-on fee of $100,000. So that is guaranteed. And then a monthly salary of $30,000. Initially, we had reported that it would be $45,000, but we understand the GFA were able to.
Skills.
Yes. That he's been quite inactive for a while, and he's not done much since he left us in 2010. So it's at 2 p.m. and it will be live on Joy News and Joy Prime. We are having extensive coverage of that.
We'll definitely stick with the Joy Sports team. Thank you very much, Gary. Now, in July, Ghana opened its National Mosque, one of West Africa's largest. It's second only to the National Mosque of Senegal, funded by the Turkish government. It is a replica of the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. Thousands of people have already flocked there to see the edifice, and its administrators are hoping it will become a sanctuary for tourism. Joy News, Justice Bedu was granted access into the mosque. Here's his report.
It's Friday and I've come here for Juma, the weekly congregational prayer for Muslims. National Chief Imam Sheikh Nuhu Sharbutu is leading the prayer today. Vice President Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia has come here to pray too. The interior of the building is decorated with hand-drawn calligraphy of Quran verses. It is fitted with Carrara marble on the outside and it has 4 eye-catching minarets overlooking the sprawling city.
We'll bring you the full tour of that mosque subsequently. And now from a mainly desert city to a place of glitz and glamour. That's the story of Dubai, a member of the United Arab Emirates. Deserts are associated with starvation, pain, anguish and death. But Dubai has changed the narrative using its bare, sandy lands as an amusement park, which has become one of the top destinations for desert adventures like dune bashing. There's more in this report.
About 50 minutes drive away from our hotel, I observed a deliberate attempt by the Dubai authorities to conserve sand for tourism. That was later confirmed by our guide, Jem Jani.
The desert is extremely significant for the Emirates. Their forefathers used to travel several miles, from one place to the other with the camels. Today we have what we call the quad bikes, as they are riding in the back, and they have the cars, these Land Cruisers and other SUVs that they are using. So the idea is that when tourists come to the desert, they have a feel of what their forefathers experienced.
Other activities that happen here include camel treks, falconry, horse riding, sandboarding, and more. Mustafa has been using his Land Cruiser for dune bashing. He has been doing this for the past 10 years.
We get training before I start safari to get the driving lesson.
Well, on Joy Prime Explore this Sunday, Maxwell Agbagba takes us on that tour to Dubai. Remember, Joy Prime Explore is an exciting travel show that brings you close to the unseen sides of different cultures, people, and unique places through the best TV experience. Please tune in at 6 p.m. Time for Showbiz. Mapizzo Sabede in the house.
MFR is going to be an interesting weekend on Joy News, on Joy Prime, and your superstation, Joy997 FM. We have exciting shows lined up for you this afternoon. At 2 p.m, Moments with Joy comes your way, and host of Showbiz A to Z, George Quay, is on the hot seat.
George Quay, are you ready for this? We're taking you through the night. We're taking you through the night.
I got you on Love Lockdown from now until midnight. We're the ones that close the day for you. We call this the Late Night Express. It's alright if you call me the king of the night.
This Friday, 2 p.m, you get to meet me, the one and only GQ, on Moments with Joy. Tune in on social media, Facebook, let's lock down. Let's get to know who this man is. Trust me, it's going to be one fun show.
So if you have any questions for George Quay, join George Quay and his host KMJ on the Joy Entertainment Facebook page at 2 p.m. Tomorrow on the Joy Prime channel at 6 p.m, MFR Poe brings us a new season of the Phenomenal Lady Show. She brings you more women with interesting stories, challenging the status quo and breaking the glass ceiling. So make a date. Tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. on the Joy News channel, we have Outlook. This week it's about yoga, meditation and exercise.
Meditation is a practice and it's work, but it's the practice of bringing the mind and the body into the present moment.
Showbiz A to Z is back with George Quay and his panel at 2 p.m. and his special guest is Inspector Bidiako, so you don't want to miss it. Yeah, and Joy Prime, like you rightly said, Sunday at 6 p.m. on the Joy News channel. So this week on Joy News, on Joy Prime and Joy FM, it'll be just and qua programs we bring you, so stay with us.
And don't forget, we have News File on Saturday.
Tell us.
We have Weekend City Show with Ruben Langerville and of course Sammy Forsing and the team. We have the law, we have the probe. Your weekend is covered right here on the Joy News channel.
That's
Joy
right.
99.7 FM, Joy Prime, and all our affiliates across the country.
That's right.
And the world as well.
And the world. We're international, baby. We're international.
And that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM, on myjoyonline.com. Many more stories that you can read for yourself on myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apao. Living Word with Pastor Menso Tabil is up next. Have a good afternoon.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is.